ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Renee Boxing Young, a platform where we simply discuss, critique, and analyze, and simply talk about the sport of boxing and lots more. Subscribers since day one, recent subscribers, I appreciate each and every one of you. Playback family, salute. Thank you so much for, jumping in the flash lives, commenting in the comment sections of the videos. Definitely, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the premieres as well, and chatting away in real time there, for liking it up, for sharing, for your overall support. It's so fun, chopping it up with the community, definitely. And I want to get right on to this Bkfc in conjunction with Triller. Interesting stuff, interesting information. Now, those who have been following me for a minute, you know that I have a playlist of Bkfc. The sport was birthed approximately around 2018. About a year after that, I pushed a video, and gave an overall analysis and breakdown on what Bkfc is as a sport. And I said in that video, it's on the playlist, you can check it out there on the channel. I said in that video in particular, I recall I said clearly that the sport, it's going to skyrocket, it's going to blow, it's going to, and that's exactly what's been going on, and I've constantly said in several videos where, venues are selling out. I mean, it's just expanding. The market is growing. I mean, it's just awesome what's going on with bare knuckle fighting championship, man. The sport is just catapulting, definitely. And I got to say this first and foremost, there have been people that criticize Bkfc, but, there's something criticized about everything, with boxing too, the same thing. Like, there are fights where I see in the sport of boxing where it's like, what the heck am I watching here? Same thing with Bkfc, I mean, but once you start to, know who the fighters are, in the Bkfc roster and, their background and what they bring into the ring, there are very skilled fighters. You really got some talent in Bkfc. And it's enjoyable to watch, definitely, when you see two fighters who are very talented and have a high boxing IQ in that ring. Now, obviously, it's a little bit different. The rules are different when it comes to clinching, and I break it all down in that video that I referenced earlier. 2-minute rounds, 5 rounds. I mean, it's just intense stuff, definitely. And you get action in that thing, what I'm saying? You really get action. It's very enjoyable and entertaining to watch, and that's the core product of Bkfc. Now, this news just came out recently or what have you, Triller, buying shares or something like that, getting the piece of the pie, Bkfc, getting their hand in on this. Now, I want to just show you the article because I'm going to give my 2 cents on this just generally, what I'm saying? Definitely. We got here boxingscene.com, link in the description. You already know, okay? So let's scroll down just a tad here and let's read it, okay? And I want to give my 2 cents as we go through this. It says, Triller has announced that it has acquired Bkfc for an undisclosed amount. Okay, this transaction fits nicely with Triller's acquisition of Fight last year, a global streaming platform which has carried Bkfc since its inception. Okay, so this is the quote from the Triller guy. Okay, Fight Club. Okay, we see this as both a natural evolution and also a revolution for combat sports. I mean, I don't know if I agree with him. Why? Okay, and I'm going to give my tidbits as we go through this article, okay? Why do I not necessarily agree with him? Because I think, just generally, this is just my humble opinion, that's all, okay? I just want to, get out there. I think Triller in boxing sucks, okay? It really does, man. I mean, of course, there were a couple of fights that I watched, and I thought it was okay. For example, Regis Prograis against that Red Catch guy, right? Red Catch who faked getting, having a low blow or something like that, okay? I mean, it's... there was some just, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., I could care less about, what I'm saying? All due respect to the legends, obviously, but just the Triller events, man, they really don't attract my attention as a boxing fan, okay? Call me casual, call me hardcore, whatever, what I'm saying? I do love the sport of boxing, genuinely, as followers here know that, what I'm saying? Genuinely love the sport. And I try to analyze the sport as, as logistically or as logically, and as coherent as possible. And I do the same with Bkfc, or what have you. But Triller kind of sucks, man. I mean, I'm sorry, with boxing, okay? I just got to say it like that. Why? Because, just the events that they did, the fights that they arranged. I mean, I just, I watched some of it, when Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson came out, that event. I watched Badu Jack, he put up a nice performance in that ring, against the guy he fought, whoever his name was, all due respect. But, I'm really not looking out for Triller like that when it comes to boxing, okay? And especially the the halftime shows they do between every fight. I mean, it's like, my gosh, you know what I mean? It takes forever to watch a fight. And that's some things that I just don't really like, you know what I'm saying? Other people like it, they do the Triller versus battle stuff. I can care less about that, but other people may like it. That's fine, but I just don't like it all around. So I don't necessarily agree that this is going to be. It just depends, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to get more into that as we read along. Okay, so Ryan, how do we pronounce his name? Kavanagh or something like that. Okay, he says, we have long admired the tenacity, ferocity, and passion of both fighters and the team of Bkfc. This is the most obvious win-win in the history of combat sports. Okay, so our goal has been to continue to bring the younger generation, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm kind of referring to earlier, younger generation and combat sports viewership together. Something that has been diverging up until our involvement, okay? And Bkfc does just that. We admire that they fought an uphill battle to create a newly regulated combat sport, and now to have it be the fastest growing combat sport, as I said a long time ago, is a real testament to Bkfc founder and CEO Dave Feldman's vision and his team's ability to execute. Now, I got to stop here. Now, the thing here is this, man. Like, Triller obviously sees it, and I think that's why they're jumping in this, man. They want to get a piece of the pie with Bkfc, to grow their brand, I guess, to grow Triller's brand and bring more people to their platform as well. And attract more people and mix in the whole Fight Club thing that they're doing. I think Bkfc does just fine alone, okay? I have to bring this out. Dave Feldman, the CEO, president of Bkfc, he's doing just fine, ladies and gentlemen, alone. I understand he's going to, take part in this with Triller because it's going to help Bkfc, grow even more, I guess, apparently, okay? Now, as I was referencing earlier, Bkfc, man, if you check the events out, they just had Knucklemania 2, okay? A year ago, I pushed a, post-fight reaction type of live session where we talked about Knucklemania 1. Just amazing stuff, ladies and gentlemen. You got the prelims, you got, the undercards, you got the main events, obviously. Prelims are for free on Bkfc, on their channel, right? On their YouTube channel. You can check them out. I mean, as long as you see, I mean, there, like I said, it just depends on, you got to filter through and you got to weed out, the fights that are not necessarily, entertaining, I guess. Whatever floats your boat, right? Because for me, personally, like I said, I like to see high IQ, athletes get it on against, other high IQ opponents, right? Same with the sport of boxing, high IQ, talented fighters. I love to see that, But with these other fights that I really don't care about, where you see they're not, not really, I just flip the channel. I just flip it and I go do something else. You know what I'm saying? When it doesn't really show that kind of, professional output, in the squared circle, I just flip the channel. Same with boxing, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like I said, in the sport of boxing, sometimes I see fights like, what the heck am I watching here? It's like I'm watching a bar fight, man. What is this? Same thing with Bkfc. You see fights like that, but, it takes time to know who is who, you know what I mean? And who are the more skilled fighters. But generally speaking, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm trying to get at, man. The raw product of Bkfc is just that. And how they organize their events, man, the fights, it's awesome because it's fight after fight after fight after fight. You don't see too much, delay in between fights. And that's the awesome thing about it. It's fast-paced, bam, 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 action in a fight, and then boom, winner wins, loser loses, and on to the next one, bam, and they get right to it, And now the thing here is where I think is going to kind of maybe mess it up with Bkfc is Triller. I'm assuming they're going to try to put their concerts in there. I'm assuming they're going to try to put some, entertainment in there and the music side or something like that in between fights, kind of like the halftime shows in, the Super Bowl. I don't watch football anymore, okay, or NBA or whatever. Those who follow me, you all know. I have more time, the little time I have, I dedicate to the sport of boxing and Bkfc, a little bit of UFC. It just depends on my time. But that's it. I don't watch NFL. I don't watch NBA. I don't have a freaking time for that. I really don't. It just takes time. It's really time consuming to cover all these sports, man. So, kind of like the halftime show. I think that's kind of what I think Triller's going to do. I pushed a video some time ago talking about, the whole thing with Snoop Dogg and, and Fight Club and stuff like that. They're going to, I'm assuming they're going to try to do this, man, in Bkfc and mix that kind of stuff that they have been doing, that Triller has been doing in the, Triller Fight Club branch They're going to try to mix that into Bkfc, and I think that's going to kind of suck, man. I really do. That's just my humble opinion, and that's kind of how I analyze and think that's going to happen. All right, so I got to reiterate the reason why I'm pointing this out is that I think Bkfc does just fine alone, ladies and gentlemen. They do just fine. Okay, why? Why? Because as I said back in 2000, I think it was back in 2019, August, around there. You can check the video on the playlist. If I'm not mistaken, it was my first video on Bkfc. When I was outlining the sport, the rules, what it is, what it's about. I talked about it's going to skyrocket, and it's been skyrocketing up to now. Venues sold out, like I talked about earlier, and they're doing just fine, ladies and gentlemen. Knucklemania, just the rosters, with all these fighters, they're doing just fine. They got really talented fighters. I mean, the product itself sells wonderfully, ladies and gentlemen. There's a phrase out there, and you already know it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think that's the case here with Bkfc. I don't think they need Triller, man. They don't need Triller. They're doing just fine alone. But anyways, let's continue, okay? So that's where we left off. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go down here. I mean, Bkfc launched in June 2018 as a platform to host combat sports, events. It is currently regulated, in 18 states in Mexico. Since its inception, Bkfc has amassed a roster featuring Paige Van Sant. She fought against Hart, if I'm not mistaken, and Knucklemania 1, if I remember correctly. Interesting fight. Mike Perry, Chad Mendez. Mendez just fought too. He got the win over Famez, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry if I mispronounced the names. Bedford, Warrior, just et cetera, okay? Hector Lombard, I pushed a video some time ago about him. Feldman stated, we feel that by combining, this is what Feldman, the president of Bkfc, is saying, okay? We feel that by combining with Triller and bringing Bkfc into the Trillverse, we can supercharge the growth even further than we have. And quickly bring Bkfc further into the mainstream. Triller's access to talent and marketing prowess, combined with our innovative production value and massive loyal following, is truly a case where 1 + 1 = 11. All I can say is that with this partnership, Bkfc has cemented itself as a major player in the combat sports world. Now, if we just go back up here, so he feels that combining Triller, okay, and bringing Bkfc into the Trillverse, like what I was referencing earlier, right? The concerts, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken, that Trillverse stuff, it's the concert stuff, the battles and stuff like that. If they mix that in with the events, according to Dave Feldman, it's going to attract even more people, and it's going to grow even more and catapult even more. Yeah, I don't like that element, man. Just me as a fan, of the sport. That's just me as a fan of the sport, I don't like that element, For example, in the sport of boxing, I would like to ask you, and go ahead and chat, what you have seen in Triller and the Fight Club stuff. Do you like what they do? Let me ask you that. You know what I'm saying? Do you like what they do? Do you like the whole concerts between the fights? I don't, because I think it's a freaking waste of time, man. You know what I'm saying? It takes super long between fights, and I just, me generally, I don't listen to hip-hop anyway, so I'm just not really attracted to it. But I like the beats and stuff like that, which is why you hear that type of sound in my videos and my live sessions and stuff. But just the beats are cool, but, I just don't listen to it. And that's why I'm not really too interested in it, you know what I'm saying? And it's too time-consuming. Whatever artist it is, I really can care less. If it's a rock, whatever the heck they want to put on there, man. It's just too freaking long. I want to see the product. That's the thing here, ladies and gentlemen. When you go watch a movie, do you like watching a half hour before a movie? All those commercials. I mean, I haven't seen a movie in so long. I think that's a waste of time to me. I know I'm weird. I know that. You know what I'm saying? I've said it before, man. I'm weird. I know that. I don't have time to watch a freaking movie. They're too long to me. Sit down there and watch a movie. That's just not my interest. That's all. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm not, the trailers that they put, you know what I'm saying, that they put there between the actual movie that you're gonna see. Just commercials or what have you that they do before the movie in the theater. You know what I'm saying? Before your movie shows. Do you like that? I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel with Bkfc and Triller. If Triller's going to do that with their events now, I don't know about this, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see. And if it doesn't catch on, man, I think Dave Feldman should just kick Triller out of here. Like I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I think, going back to the boxing thing, Triller sucked, man. They definitely sucked in the boxing stuff. I just, I had no attraction at all to it, really. But, they're trying. And the thing here is that Triller, they're seeing how Bkfc is growing. And I think that they see that their Fight Club stuff hasn't been really, you know, pushing numbers as they want. Now they're gonna go carry on to Bkfc and try to grow their market also in their brand. You know, I'm talking about Triller. So overall, I think this is, I don't know, man. I'm not excited about it, honestly. Okay, so now let me just show you something right here. Let me just give you, you know, just a little further in-depth, you know, panorama of what I'm trying to say here concerning, you know, Bkfc. This is their official Instagram page or what have you, right? Link in the description of what we're seeing. Okay, so look at the roster. It's awesome. Just action-packed stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, not all the fights, you know, don't really necessarily attract my attention. But Richie here and Bostwick, nice fight, man. That was a very interesting fight right there. You got to check that out. You know, fun stuff to watch. I didn't see all of them because, like I said, sometimes my time is just constrained. There's a lot of fighters, man. These are lots of fights. Hart, like I referenced earlier, Britton Hart versus Christine Ferreira. Sorry about the pronunciation. I suck at that, but sorry. But, you know, Ferreira, very patient in the fight, man. Very patient, composed against Hart. Hart, man, she's a warrior, too. You know, interesting fight. Mendez, I just mentioned him a moment ago. He got the win over Famez. Great fight right there. You know, Mike Perry, Lane. Like I said, man, it's a lot of action here. And now, this is what I'm trying to say here. You know, Bkfc, they do just fine alone. They're doing just fine alone. Now imagine, you know, Triller's getting in the mix. They're going to do that Trillerverse stuff. I think they're going to probably, I'm assuming, I'm just analyzing here, okay? Speculating. They're probably going to do concerts between these fights, you know, in their next event, whatever events they have, you know what I'm saying? Probably do a concert after a couple fights here in the prelims, and then, you know what I'm saying, 2 more fights, and then another concert, and then 2 more fights. Just look at all these fights, ladies and gentlemen. This kind of reminds me of, you know, UFC cards. These are stacked. Stacked, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying, imagine them doing now concerts and this stuff. My gosh, ladies and gentlemen, I am not excited about this Triller stuff, man. But we'll see what happens, man. What do you think about this, man? If you do watch Bkfc, you know, I'm assuming that some, you know, subscribers and family community here of this channel probably watch it. Now, I got to reiterate this, man, okay? What I said at the beginning. I know Bkfc has been criticized by some people out there. There's just like, you know, they think that it's a bunch of old guys fighting each other or what have you, but it's not that at all. And it just depends on who you watch. For example, some time ago, you check the channel out. I got the playlist of Bkfc. You know, Lorenzo Hunt, if I'm not mistaken, cruiserweight champ. You know what I'm saying? Arnold Adams. I mean, I'm telling you, heavyweight champ. You got some really talented fighters in Bkfc. It's just a matter of, you know, seeing who fights and, you know, getting to know these fighters. And they really, you know, bring wonderful performances in that squared circle. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, in that video, my first video of Bkfc, I broke down a few of those fighters. You know what I'm saying? So interesting stuff, man. My respect, all due respect to Bkfc fighters, man. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, that is a tough sport. Tough sport, and that's a sport where really one punch can change it all. You know, I know they say that about the sport of boxing, but you know, here there are no gloves. So I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, these punches, you can feel them when you hear them, and when you see these punches while during a fight, you can feel that. Oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? So it's a very fun sport to watch, definitely. So what do you think, man? Do you think Triller's gonna come and screw it up like they kind of did in the sport of boxing, and they're not successful at all in the sport of boxing? I don't know, man. I am not excited about this, but we'll see what happens, right? Renee Boxing, a platform where we simply discuss, critique, analyze, simply talk about sport of boxing in a level-headed, coherent, mature fashion. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you so much. Go ahead and comment in the comment section, and what do you think is going to happen here? How do you think it's going to go out? How is it going to develop, you know, with this whole thing with Triller and Bare Knuckle? We'll see. Go ahead and like it up and share. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hit the notification bell so you know when I push premieres such as this and do my flash lives, etc., etc. Renee Box Young, peace out. Stay safe, fam.